Shalom, 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 shalom. All praises to the highest, Yahuwah. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Give me a one if you guys can hear me before we jump into this. I want to make sure everything is good from the jump. And while I'm thinking about it, let me not also forget to remind you, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Ain't nobody bringing it out how we bringing it, okay? I'm just saying, for real, for real. All praises to the highest. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay, all esteem to y'all. Okay, family. So this is actually something I can say personally. I enjoy studying and looking at. I mean, it's just one of the many things about the Bible that's always fascinated me, especially when I found out about the Naphalym. I found out about the Naphalym very, very young. Like, I think I was maybe, I don't know, I was in my early 20s when I found out about the Naphalym. And that was one of the reasons why I was like, bro, Christianity is trash. How y'all not telling us about giants in the Bible? I mean, yeah, they told you about, like, Goliath and all of that, but they didn't really expound on where he came from and why he was a giant. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you about the dang human animal hybrids. They don't tell you about the angels that came down and slept with earth women. They don't tell you about none of this stuff, bro. None of this stuff. And that's the problem. It's bad enough they didn't tell us we was Yasharal, but the fact that they ain't telling us about all these things that's going on. Listen, the reason why they removed the book of Enoch is because it exposes the fallen bloodline. Okay, it exposes that there is a serpent seed. There are people on this earth who are not fully human. And as we build out this series and we go deep, deep, I'm going to show you where these Caucasians come from. I'm going to show you evidence. I'm going to show you all of this. Okay? So consider this like an episodic series of the Esau and the Horites, because we're going to get deep, deep. I'm going to get into bloodlines and all that. We ain't going to do it today. This is just going to be an introductory episode. So let's go ahead and let's jump into this. All right? So the Naphalym, the men of renown. Now, if this is a new subject for you, I guess the smart thing to do would be to explain what a Naphtali is. Naphtali, singular, refers to one giant. Naphalym with the M is plural, referring to more than one. Just like if I am a singular Yahudi, right? But all of y'all are from the tribe of Yahudah, so that makes y'all Yahudim, okay? Every time you add that Y and that M at the end of a word, it is plural. That's why we don't say Elohim when we're referring to Yahuwah. We refer to Aluwa, singular, okay? Not plural. He's not multiple different deities. Remember paganism. Anyway, so who were the Naphalym? The Naphalym were a hybrid, half-human, half-angel species that were produced by the fallen Malachim mating with human women. If you've seen Esau and the Horites, you are aware of this. But if you haven't, I'm going to just take you briefly through what went down. And like I said, if you are new to the channel, I highly suggest you go watch Esau and the Horites. Barashith, Genesis 6, 1-4. And it came to pass when men began to be numerous upon the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of Elua. Now, this sons of Elua is not talking about regular men. This is talking about Malachim, angels. Okay? So don't get it twisted. Let me read it to you slowly. And it came to pass when men began to be numerous upon the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of Elua, having seen the daughters of men. So when it says sons of Elua, having seen the daughters of men, it's making a distinction here. We're talking about two groups here, actually three groups. We're talking about men who have daughters. We're talking about those daughters. And we are also talking about the fallen Malachim, or the Malachim who saw these women and how beautiful they were, these black women, because obviously we're talking about melanated people at this time, okay? That the sons of Elua, having seen the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, took to themselves wives of all of whom they chose. Barashith 6, 1-4, continuing on. And Yahuwah said, my Ruach, or my spirit, shall certainly not remain among these men forever, because they are flesh, but their days shall be numbered 120 years. Now, the Naphalym, or the giants, were upon the earth in those days and after that. When the sons of Elua were to go in unto the daughters of men, they bore children to them, and those were the Naphalym, or giants of old, the men of renown. Okay? So, what is this telling us? This is telling us that these giants were born because these Malachim came down when they saw how beautiful these young women were, these young girls, these young black women, okay, young black girls. And they said, we're going to take them for wives and we are going to sleep with these women. And because of the mingling of a spiritual being with a physical human being, thus created a genetic mutation and an abomination, which brought about the Nephilim. Now, some people ask me, well, how can they have sex? How can an angel have sex with a woman? How can they have those body parts? Well, you do realize that when they, obviously Malachim can shapeshift. I mean, think about it. Sodom and Gomorrah. Those Malachim look just like regular men. They look like men so much that all those homosexual men that lived in Sodom and Gomorrah were literally trying to RAPE them. Okay, they wanted to hand them a bag of grapes, for lack of a better word. Okay, they surrounded the house. Okay, and obviously these men, or these Malachim, who would have masqueraded as men. So when I say masquerade, it would also mean that if they physically changed to men, that would mean that they would have the parts as well. Okay? They would have to. There's no other way. Now, I've heard people like try to surmise and say things like, well, you know, maybe it was just witchcraft in which these children were born. No. For there to be a genetic mutation to bring about a whole group of people who was never here, never intended, or not created by Yahuwah, okay, we got to factor that in now. All right, let's say maybe you don't believe that the Malachim mingled with the daughters of men, right? But then how do you explain Caucasians? Okay, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. All right, I'm not trying to disrespect nobody that's Caucasian here. All right, but if Yahuwah created melanated people in his image in Africa, where did white people come from? This has to be a genetic mutation. It has to be something that would take place that would bring about certain people that were not created by the Most High. Okay? Let's keep going. Queen Raya's in the building. Shalom. Now, who are these sons of Elua? We're going to look a little bit more deeper into that. The sons of Elua are Malachim, or angels, which is why the scriptures specifically say they came down and slept with the daughters of men, okay? These were not human beings. These were angelic beings known as the Watchers. This is further confirmed in the book of Kanuk, or Enoch, as well as Yashar, or Jasher. And we're going to look at some of these verses here. Kanuk 3, 1 through 2, and also 7 through 10. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the Malachim, or angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, come, let us choose wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. Okay, so they said that we want to beget wives among the children of men and beget us children. Let's keep going. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. And they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments and the cutting of the roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, the women, and they bare great giants, or Naphalym, whose height was 3,000 cubits. Now, just out of curiosity, why don't we look at how big that is? Just out of curiosity. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to jump over here to a cubic meter here, and we're going to look up what that is. So 3,000 cubits. Let's look at that. It's going to tell us what that is in feet. Okay. This might kind of freak you out, but that's why I like doing this kind of stuff, because, you know, we can get into some deep, deep stuff. All praises to the highest. So look at this. So I just did this here. 3,000 cubits is 400, or actually, I'm sorry, Salaki. This would actually be 4,000 feet tall. I mean, maybe I'm doing this wrong. I hope I'm not. But it says 4,429 feet, 3,000 cubits. Wait, this is Egyptian, so maybe that's why it's weird. Okay, let me go to English. My bad, y'all. I was about to say, like, what under the dome? Okay, so 3,000 cubits, 4,500 feet. Family, listen to me. These giants were 4,500 feet tall. They were huge. Okay? They were not you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, let me say this. So think about it like this. When I think of like Adam and Eve, and I think about how our people, you know what I'm saying, and like the Adamic race, the people that came from Adam, and how, you know, Adam lived a very, 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 very long time. But you start to see, as you continue to read the scriptures, people started living a lot less longer, right? Well, we know in Enoch that there were 3 races of giants that were born. You had the Naphalym, you had the great Naphalym, and then you had the Eliod, okay? Now, some of these other giants that we're going to explore in this series as we continue to build it out, they were not as big as 4,500 feet tall. Okay, there's no way. There's no way. I mean, you can literally look up the cubits and look at the measurements. Some of them were 13 feet tall, 15 feet tall, but these ones, the original ones, okay, I'm talking about straight out of the womb of these black women that bore these children. They were 4,500 feet tall, fam. They were big, big. Okay. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. So let me not just, you know what I'm saying, talk too much, because I gotta get to that point. And I'm going to show you what I think they really were in a minute. Now, I do believe they were giants. Oh, indeed. Absolutely. I do. I 100% do. But there's more to this. Okay. There is more to this. And that's what this series is going to help you understand. Bianca says, I heard in different languages of the Bible, they had different heights, but the older Bibles had a taller height. Some versions shortened the actual height, but either way, it's way taller than normal. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just think about it like this. If you ever want to understand how big these things were, do you remember when Joshua or Yahusha sent the people to go spy out the land of Canaan? And then he came back with a report, and he said that these giants, these Naphalym, the sons of Anak, he said that we are like locusts to them. Now, your KJV, Masoretic translation, it says grasshoppers. But actually, locusts are smaller than grasshoppers. So if you want to think about how big these giants were that they saw that got them scared, just imagine yourself as a locust and the giants as you. Whatever your size is, you know what I'm saying? Just think of yourself, like, let's just say the giants are holding out their hand and you are a locust in the palm of their hand. That's how big they were. And we're talking about Israelites here. There would be tall Israelites. There would be athletic Israelites. Come on now, we them people, man. That's why they were so scared. But y'all don't understand, bro. This was Yahuwah testing them, because he was about to say, so you not going to trust in me? You don't think that I'm going to help you overthrow them? That's why the Most High got mad when they brought a bad report, because he's like, so y'all don't think I'm gonna help you destroy them? Y'all think I'm gonna just let them destroy you, destroy your seed when I gave you this land? All right, let's keep going, fam. Shalom to everybody that's coming into the chat. Please hit the like button for show. You already know. Hey. All right, so let's keep going. So we read in Enoch or Kanuk 3, 1-2, and also 7-10, that these women bore these giants. Okay. Now let's keep reading. And all the others came together. They taught them enchantments. They became impregnant. They bare great giants whose height was 3,000 cubits, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. So if these giants are 4,500 feet tall, They're going to eat everything, everything, take everything, snatch up everything. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. It kind of reminds me of like Jack and the Beanstalk. Fee, fi, fo, fum. You know what I'm saying? That old thing back in the day, bro, where he was talking about I'll grind your bones to make my bread. Bro, they were telling you the truth. They were telling you that these things were real. They were cannibalistic. They were bloodthirsty. They were savages. That's why I can understand why some people like to call us savages, but they literally are savages because this is their people. This is what they come from. I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. Barbarians, right? Yeah. So when you think about even like Jack and the Beanstalk, or you think about Paul Bunyan, you know what I'm saying? These Caucasian giants, right? That is the truth in plain sight. Just like Harry and the Hendersons. You see the Neanderthals, George of the Jungle, Neanderthal. You know what I'm saying? The Flintstones, Neanderthals, all these things are right in your face. They've been telling you what it is. They've been telling you. It's just that we thought of it as fiction. We weren't able to, use the Bible to prove these things. But now in this great awakening, we realize a lot of these things they were telling us the truth from the jump. The giants turned against them and devoured mankind, and they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. And then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. Now, when it says here that the giants, they begin to sin against birds, beasts, reptiles, fish, that is talking about genetic manipulation. If you guys, shout out to everybody on the Patreon. If you have watched the documentary that I did on Patreon about the hybrids, you understand what I'm talking about. We don't have time to get into the hybrid thing as far as scripture about that. If you want a little bit more understanding, please check out the Patreon. We got you. I just dropped the documentary about the hybrids and the genetic mixing and all of these things that they did back then. So we're not going to get too deep into that today. But this is talking about genetic manipulation. This is talking about blending species together. This is where you get hybrids. Why do you think Anubis and these deities of Egypt and even these pagan, religions in Europe and all that, why do you think that their deities are half man, half animal? They worship them. The satyr, the half man, half goat, the centaur, bro, all these things were real. I know it sounds crazy, bro, but do you believe the Bible or not? I fully do. I fully believe these things were real. 100%. Absolutely. Because I know the devil is real. And I know that there is a wicked bloodline out here. Okay? I know that there are people out here who are not fully human. Serpent seed. Yes, of course. It's just that they want you to believe this stuff is not real. Just like Leviathan. They know about Leviathan, fam. They know about Leviathan. What do you think Godzilla represents? The beast coming out of the sea? You know what I'm saying? A beast that's almost unstoppable. They know about Leviathan. They know about him. Just like they know about the bloodlines and the fallen and all of this. Where white people come, they know all of this stuff. And so what they do is they rub it in your face. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, we know, but what you gonna do about it? Even us being the Israelites, they rub that in our face too. How many of y'all saw that Good Times episode where what's his name reveals to Florida that the Messiah is black and he goes to Revelation? Give me a one if you've seen that. Was that Good Times? I believe it was Good Times. I believe it was Good Times if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was Good Times. Dynamite! Yeah. It was Good Times. It was Good Times. Okay, y'all remember that episode. Okay, all praises to the Most High. So y'all realize that they know a lot of things and they put it right in our face. Okay? Just like if you think about that movie Roots with LeVar Burton, right? Actually, was it Roots? Yeah, it was Roots. where that slave master says to a bunch of the Negroes on the plantation, well, it ain't nothing but the 12 tribes of Israel. Bro, come on, bro. They putting it all in your face. Okay? The book of Clarence, that's the truth in your face. They don't hide this, y'all. They don't hide it. And well, actually, I'll take that back. Obviously, okay, I'll say it like this. In a way, they are hiding certain information because the book of Enoch is not originally found with the rest of the scriptures. And it was in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It is from the Most High. It is his word 100%. For sure, it is. But the reason why it was removed is because it reveals too much. If you go to Barashith or Genesis 6, you read about, the sons of God or so-called sons of God or whatever, and you think, that's talking about men. Matter of fact, my Esau and the Horites documentary, I had people telling me it's about men and it's not about fallen Malachim. They want you to think this stuff is fake, y'all. All right? And like I said, as we build out this series, you're going to understand the truth. And a lot of these things in history you thought was one thing, bro, it's a whole nother thing, and it ties to the Bible. All right, fam, let's keep going. All right, Jubilees or Jubileem, chapter 5, verses 1 through 3. And it came to pass when the children of men began to multiply on Haphanah, Ha'arats, on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the angels of Elua saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee or Jubileem, that they were beautiful to look upon. So right here in Jubilees, it confirms they were angels. They were Malachim. But, most Christians will say Jubilees is not scripture. Jasher is not scripture. Enoch is not scripture. That's why they don't know nothing. And they took themselves wives of all whom they chose, and they bare them sons, and they were giants. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way, alike men and cattle and beasts and birds and everything that walketh on the earth. All of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and they began to devour one another, and lawlessness increased on the earth, and every imagination of thoughts of all men was evil continually. See, they told you that the reason why the earth was flooded is because of men. And it was men. Definitely. It was definitely men. But it was also a genetic corruption here. Hybrids, half man, half human hybrids. You know what I'm saying? Naphalym mixing animal DNA with human DNA and human DNA with animal DNA and one species with another species. And if you guys saw the documentary that I did on the hybrids, I told you that I personally, like I said, it's just an opinion. I could be wrong about this, but I personally believe that the platypus is an example of hybrids. The platypus. Here you have a creature that appears to be a mammal, but it is not a mammal. It is an animal that lays eggs. A furry animal. Most furry animals are not, you know what I'm saying? They don't lay eggs. They birth babies. They are mammals. But yet this creature has features of a non-mammal because it has a beak and it has webbed feet, but then it has features of a mammal because it's a furry creature. Very interesting. I'm saying I think it could be. I could be wrong about this, but that's just my personal take. I could be wrong. I'm not saying the Most High didn't create the platypus, but just the way it looks. You know what I'm saying? Just the way that it operates, and even just the genetic differences of this animal versus every animal that I know of in the animal kingdom. I believe the platypus could be a hybrid. I don't know. It's just my opinion. Okay, let's keep going. Lisa's in the building. Shalom, shalom. Echidnas lay eggs too. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I believe that could also be another example. Possibly. Like I said, I'm just jumping into opinion territory at this point. So their thoughts were only evil continually. Okay, let's keep going. The Bible's filled with stories about these Naphalym or giants and their descendants. Keep in mind that there are many different tribes of giants that survived after the flood. How? Now, people have asked me, Yexer, how could these giants, if the Most High said he was going to destroy all flesh on the earth, how did these giants survive? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I have not been able to come up with a conclusive answer for this. I'm still digging. and I'm still trying to understand it myself. And I pray as I continue to build out this series, the Most High will reveal it to me, because I have a few theories that I'm going to show you guys of what I believe it could be, but I don't have anything conclusive quite yet. I need to, dig a little more deeper on this to give you a full on answer. But how? My belief is one of Noah's wives. So one of my first theory is that one of Noah's son's wives had that bloodline. Why do I think that? I think that because the Bible says all flesh was corrupt on earth, but it says that Noah was perfect in all his generations, meaning that he did not have that corrupted bloodline in his lineage. So it's possible one of those women that married one of his sons could possibly have had that in her bloodline. And the reason why I also think that is because think about the Jewish people, right? They always do the lineage, what they base their lineage on, based on their mom. Now, we know, according to the scriptures, your lineage comes from your father, your dad. Why do they go off the idea of a woman? Why do they go off the idea of, their mother? That's like the opposite of what the scriptures say. Maybe it's because, we know they're the fallen. We know that they are Amalek. We know that. Just like if you think about Amalek, right? Esau was a Hebrew. He was a Bari. His son would have been a Bari, right? But, or of the Hebrew stock, right? But it was something about that woman, Timnah, family. It was something about that woman, Timnah, that brought about Amalek and brought about these creatures. My bad. Brought about these creatures. So I do believe it's very possible that through the woman, if she, is of this bloodline, it can be passed down through the mother. Okay. And it does happen. Okay. And listen, let me just say this, bro, because, people, some people get offended by me talking about the bloodlines, the RH negative and stuff like that. Listen, I'm not doing this to shame you if you are RH negative, especially if you are Negro. The truth is, a lot of our people have it. Well, I won't say a lot, but a good chunk of our people do have it because of slavery. Okay. It's not an inherent gene that our people were having in us. Okay. It's because of what these people who is prevalent amongst did to us in slavery. All right. So if you are RH negative, don't feel bad. I'm not attacking you or anything like that. It's not your fault that, these people did this to our people. It's not your fault. But just know, whether you have this gene or not, or this bloodline or not, if you are a Negro and your father is a Negro, you are an Israelite. You just have a recessive gene. That's not your fault. Okay? Don't feel like the Most High don't love you. Don't feel like you're not still a child of the Most High, as an Israelite, because you have this. It's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up about it. He doesn't see you as less. He still sees you as an Israelite. He still calls you Jacob. So people, get uncomfortable when I talk about this. Listen, I don't see you as anything less than an Israelite if you are a Negro, period. Doesn't matter what your bloodline is. As long as you are of Jacob's stock, you're an Israelite. So that's what it is. All right. Now, let's keep going. Moving on. All right, we looked at all of that. So my first theory is one of Noah's son's wives had the bloodline. The Bible says Noah and his generation was pure, meaning his descendants. That doesn't include those women. Let's read about them. Now, here's another thing that's interesting about these women. These women were literally chosen right before he got on the ark. It was like a last minute decision kind of thing. Let me show you. Let's look at it. Yashar, Jasher 5:12-13, and Noah, the son of Lamech, refrained from taking a wife in those days to beget children. For he said, surely now Alua will destroy the earth. Wherefore then shall I beget children? And Noah was a just man, and he was perfect in his generation, and Yahuwah chose him to raise up his seed from his seed on Hafanah Ha'aratz, on the face of the earth. Let's keep going. And behold, I will bring the flood. Oh, this is Jasher, Yashar 5:29-30. And behold, I will bring the flood of waters upon the earth, and all flesh will be destroyed. From under the Shamayim, all that is on the earth shall perish, and you and your household shall go and gather 2 couples of all living things, male and female, and shall bring them to the ark to raise up seed from them on earth. All right, 32 to 36, Jasher 5. And you shall choose your sons 3 maidens from the daughters of men. Now we understand the daughters of men is where this corruption took place, right? The Malachim came down upon the daughters of men, right? Okay. From the daughters of men, and they shall be wives to your sons. And Noah rose up and he made the ark in the place where Eluah had commanded him. And Noah did as Eluah had ordered him. 34 in his 595th year, Noah commenced to make the ark. And he made the ark in 5 years as Yahuwah had commanded. Wow. That's interesting. It actually gives a time frame there. All praises. Then Noah took the 3 daughters of Eliakim, son of Methuselah, for wives for his sons, as Yahuwah had commanded Noah. And it was at that time Methuselah, the son of Enoch, died 960 years old. He was at his death. Okay, let's keep going. The Bible also says all flesh was corrupted. So if these women were not of Noah's generation, they would have likely had some sort of corrupted bloodline too. Now, let me say this. Like I said, these are just theories I'm just throwing out right now. Okay, these are just theories I'm just chucking out at you, throwing out at you. I'm not saying anything is conclusive because I don't know yet. Yexer is humble enough to say, I don't truly really know right now because I need to dig a little more deeper to get that answer. And I've been searching for that answer. And I've read Jasher and other books like that, but I just haven't got the full conclusive revelation yet. So I'm going to be seeking the Most High about that. So, hopefully one episode I can give you the answer. All right, let's keep going. Another theory I have is the curse of Canaan. When Noah's nakedness is uncovered by his son Ham, Noah curses Ham's son Canaan. And Canaan is indeed where all the Canaanite tribes came from. Many who were Naphalym or giants. The scriptures don't specifically say this in regards to a cursed bloodline, but it's very, very possible. Let's look at that. Barashith, Genesis 9, 22 to 24. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and he went out and told his 2 brothers without, and Sham or Shem, and Yephath or Japheth, having taken a garment, put it on their backs, and went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father, and their face was backward, and they saw not the nakedness of their father. Barashith, Genesis 9, 22 to 24. And Noah recovered from the wine and knew all that his younger son had done to him. And he said, cursed be the servant Canaan. A slave shall he be to his brethren. Now, also, the curse could also pertain to the fact that they would lose their land and it would be given to Abraham. It would be given to Abraham's children, Abraham's descendants, then Isaac, then Jacob, then us, right? So the curse could also be these Canaanite tribes, which Yahuwah said, destroy all of them, okay? Show no mercy to them, right? Cursed bloodline, but also taken land, all right? And if you read the scriptures, there are actually a few Canaanites that were serving us back when we were in the land. You know what I'm saying? So the cursed bloodline could also factor into that. Or just utter destruction. The Most High telling us our forefathers not to have mercy on these tribes, these Canaanite tribes, considering that they might have been of the fallen. Or not saying all Canaanites were of the fallen, but there were some that were. Let's keep going. 22. As I said, it doesn't mention anything about a bloodline being cursed, and it is my assertion that could be a reason why the Naphalym continued to spring up after the flood. I will also say that Yahuwah said that the serpent, Hanakash, would have a seed. Okay, Zara, a seed. So therefore, prophecy must be fulfilled. And we understand a lot of our enemies come from these satanic bloodlines. Okay, look at the royal family. Look at Trump. Look at all of these people. The Germans, the Anglo-Saxons, Amalek. The people that dwelled up in the Caucasus. I will also say that Yahuwah said that the serpent would have a seed. or descendants, right? And as I said, prophecy has to be fulfilled in regards to that. So even if the flood was a bloodline was still able to spring back up, the serpent seed prophecy has to come to pass to bring about the false Messiah, so the true Messiah, Yahusha, can destroy him and his seed and his people. Let's re-examine the post-flood account as it reveals something a lot of people skip over. Barashif, Genesis 6:4. Now the Naphalym, or giants, were up on the earth in those days and after that. Okay? Notice it says that the giants were on the earth in those days and after that. Okay? So the Most High commissioned Masha, or Moses, to write that there would be giants in those days and after that, which is where King Og of Bashan comes into play, which is where Goliath comes into play, which is where the Anakim come into play, and all these other giants that you see in scripture. And like I said, I'm leaning more towards the fact that prophecy has to play out. There's no way to get away from that. Now the Naphalym were up on the earth in those days and after that, when the sons of Elua went unto the daughters of men, they bore children to them. Those were the Naphalym, giants of old, and men of renown. The scriptures clearly say there were giants in those days and after that. This means after the flood, clearly there would still be giants. Now, here's another theory I'm going to give you, and this is my last theory because we're almost done with this. Another likely scenario is this continued to happen where Malachim continued to come down upon women and bear children. Now, personally, with that theory, I don't know if I fully believe that to be true, because the Most High was so angry and he imprisoned the Malachim that did that, right? And they're in chains, right? In darkness and all of that. So I don't know if that's a likely scenario, but let me just show you why I'm considering it to be a theory. Listen to this. Abarim, or Hebrews 13 verse 2. Be not careful to be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Okay, that's why I say you got to be careful how you treat people, man, because you could be talking to a malak and not even know it. And this proves how convincing they are when they shapeshift. It proves they can shapeshift. That you would talk to a malak or an angel and not even know. Yeah, very convincing. So you want to tell me that if you could have talked to an angel and not known it, why would you think that they wouldn't become men and literally sleep with women? For me not to be able to tell that I'm talking to an angel and I got to treat everybody with respect because I could be talking to one, why would you think that they wouldn't be able to sleep with women and create these Naphalym? Let's keep going. Here's another witness that also makes me consider at least the angel theory. 1 Corinthians 11, 8-10, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. 10, for this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. In certain translations, it says crown. So we're here in the renewed covenant, 1 Corinthians 11, 8-10. Paul wrote this. Why? So it's saying a woman needs a covering because of the angels. So are they still lusting after women? Are these things still happening? Why would Paul write that if there's not truth to it? One of those things that makes you go, I mean, maybe it was a reference to, the past sins of mankind prior to the flood. But I just find it so interesting. He's writing about it way in the renewed covenant, way after Yahusha and all of that. I just find that interesting. Why are these giants called the men of renown? These Naphalym were worshipped and greatly feared. And the deities you see of these other nations, such as the Titans, are based on them. Okay? Baruch 3:26 through 28. There were the giants, famous from the beginning, that were of such great stature and so expert in war. But these Yahuwah chose not, neither gave he the way of knowledge unto them, but they were destroyed because they had no wisdom and perished through their own foolishness. And I'm about to show you guys some things in a second here. But it says these giants were famous and they were experts in war. They were barbarian. They were warlike. Now, let me show you something real quick here. I have a few videos I want to show you guys real quick before we continue on. I'm going to show you a quick scene from this movie called Clash of the Titans. Yes, you see where I'm going with this, and we're going to go into that in the next episode. Clash of the Titans, these Greco, the gods of the heathens of Greco-Roman Empire, those Titans were Naphalym. Those movies, Clash of the Titans, that is about the Naphalym Wars. And yes, that is in scripture. And we're gonna get into that in the next episode. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But let's look at this first video, fam. Hold on a second. I'm not gonna play too much. Fair use, YouTube. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Educational purposes only for Yexer's personal commentary. All right, let me pull this up and show y'all this real quick, fam. This is wild, bro. When I found this out, I was just like, bro, of course they had to fictionalize it. Try to make you think it's not real. All right, fam, here we go. Let me make this bigger. All right, we're going to watch just a little bit of this. Fair use purposes only. All right, here we go. Okay, we'll stop it there. Okay? That movie is about the Naphalym, bro. It's about the Naphalym Wars. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This series is going to be fire. You are going to learn a lot. Okay? All praises to the highest. All right. We're almost done, fam. We are almost done, okay? I'm going to show you a few more things that I have pulled up here. So let me show you this first thing right here. This is pretty crazy. I thought this was interesting. Just like when I think about the movie Transformers, okay? About these alien, robots that want to like take over the world. That's about the Naphalym. All of this stuff is about them. You know what I'm saying? They all connect. So let me show you this real quick. Let me show you this first thing that I got pulled up here. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Let me pull this up. So it says in Final Fantasy, I believe this is 8, Titan is the colossal icon of the earth, introduced at the Battle of Nisa. He's named after the Titans of Greek myth. But is it a myth, though? Gods which preceded the Olympians. Among them was Atlas, a ferocious leader who was sentenced to hold up the sky, then turned into a mountain. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen those videos on TikTok or social media of these mountainous areas that people are saying we're giants. Big old like rocks and, you know what I'm saying, caverns and stuff like that, but they look like they're in the shape of somebody's head or some kind of deity's head or something like that. Yeah. So much truth, bro. There's so much they're hiding. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to show you guys a few more things. Now, this is Gilgamesh. And Gilgamesh is one of the giants. And in the next episode, we're gonna read a little bit of the book. Actually, you know what? We'll get into a little bit of the book of the giants because I have it here. So this is supposed to be Gilgamesh here. It says, a statue of Gilgamesh, the illustrious king of Uruk, who reigned from 2652 to 2602 BC, presents him as the master of animals. In this powerful depiction, he cradles a lion in his left arm and holds a snake in his right hand, symbolizing his mastery over the natural world. Two Assyrian winged bulls stand beside him, enhancing the statue's grandeur. This sculpture is located near Kinki Lake in the north region of the Tibetan Plateau in China, serving as a tribute to the far-reaching influence and enduring myth of Gilgamesh. Now, this is supposed to be Gilgamesh. And look at this lion, though. Now, this is a full-grown lion, gang. All right? Well, look at the mane. But look how it looks like a kitty to this Gilgamesh character. And if you look down here, you see these Babylonian hybrids. You feel what I'm saying? Listen, y'all. The Bible is true. I don't know how many times I got to tell people, bro, the Bible is true. It is fully, fully true. These things are just being hidden and covered up and stuff like that. But, you know, all praises to the highest. You got people like me to help you understand a little bit more. But this is proof of the paganism right here. And we're going to look at more about this Gilgamesh. But Gilgamesh in the Book of Giants is one of the giants that has a dream, and it's revealed to him a great flood is about to take place. So let's keep going. I'm going to show you this next thing. These are some more images of this Gilgamesh character here. And you always see him holding a lion. Now, how many of y'all remember? Give me a 1. If you've seen the Esau and Horus documentary, give me a 1 if you remember I showed you those hairy, shaggy, you know what I'm saying, wild men that were going into Germany where those black Germans were to attack the castle in that, what was it, a tarp? And they had these lions on their back. Do y'all remember that? There was like lions and unicorns in it, in the tapestry. Let me see if I can pull it back up. Hold on, real quick. Let me take you back. They were like carrying around lions like on their back, like they were like little babies or something. And I'm just like, I find it interesting that this Gilgamesh character, you know what I'm saying, is carrying around lions. And that's exactly what those wild men were doing. All right, let me pull it back up. I'm going to take you back a little bit here. Let's see. I know there's more images. Let's see. Okay, no, this isn't the one I'm looking for. This is a specific one that I'm looking for where they literally are carrying these lions on their back. It just reminded me of like, oh, I found it. All praises to the highest. Okay, family. So let's look at this tapestry here. I'm going to make it bigger. And I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you this. All right. Here we are. And I use this in the Esau and the Horite as part of my research. But let's look at this up close. Can I make this bigger? Oh, I can't make it any bigger. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Well, if you look right here in the far right, I know it's extremely hard to see. I can't zoom in, huh? Yeah, I can't zoom in any further than that. Right here, if you zoom in, you can clearly see a wild man carrying a lion on his back, okay? And here you see this Gilgamesh character constantly carrying around a lion. Bro, they're the same people. Listen, they are the same people, all right? They hunted lions and carried them around, all right? Strangled them and all of that. Full-grown lions, family. Yeah, it all so interesting, isn't it? There's got to be a better image, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot settle for that. There's got to be a better image than that. Let me see. I'm going to try to find another one, y'all, because that one ain't going to cut it. Okay, look at this. Let me show you this one. You can see him wrestling with the lion right here. But look how big he is to this lion. He's huge. Oh, there it is. This is a better picture. You see the lion on his back. All right. A full grown lion. All right. Look how big this woman is. Look how it's riding on this deer, this stag. All right. Now this shaggy stuff, that's they shaggy hair. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. That's what that represents. These are not clothes. This is their hairy bodies. Okay. Boy, all praises to the highest. And this is them, by the way. Anywho, fam, we're not gonna get too deep into that. Can you post the Book of Giants on the Discord? Yeah, I got you. And we're gonna look at that in a second. Actually, you know what? Let's look at it now. I got it right here. Hold on. Let me close some of these tabs. I got so many tabs open, fam. Book of Giants. Where is it? Hold on. Okay, right here. So let me say this. The Book of Giants is biblical. Matter of fact, it was found along the Dead Sea Scrolls, along with books like Isaiah and Habakkuk and, or Habakkuk and all these other, biblical writings. So let me show you this. We're going to read a little bit of this Book of Giants here. I'm going to scroll in a little bit more. It might be kind of hard to see, but don't worry, because I'm going to read it for you. Okay, fam. So let's just read this. Now, it's in fragments because when they found the text or the scroll, the Magaluth or Magala, it was not fully intact. So a lot of the pieces of these writings are missing. That's why you don't really have a full book of it. You only get little bits and pieces of it. But I'm going to try my best to try to read it to you so you can understand what's being said here. All right. So it says, this is 1Q23 fragment 9. They knew the secrets. Sin was great in the earth, and they killed man, and they begat giants. The angels exploit the fruitfulness of the earth. This is 4Q531 fragment 3. Everything that the earth produced, the great fish, the sky, with all that grew, fruit of the earth and all kinds of grain and all the trees, beasts and reptiles, creeping things upon the earth, and they observed all and every harsh deed and utterance, male and female, and among humans. The 200 angels chose animals on which they would perform unnatural acts, including presumably humans. So, whoa. So these Malachim were also doing things with animals. Bro, this is crazy. This is what I'm saying. This is why I love the truth, bro. I love digging and reading things that the Catholic Church and these heathen Christian pastors told me not to read. I was a rebel for real. I would not be where I am right now if I was not a rebel. I'm like, you told me not to read it. Okay, now I'm going to go read it. My mother told me don't put my hand in the cookie jar and don't eat no cookies, before dinner because it's going to spoil your appetite. I did it anyway. Burned my hand in the process, but still did it just because she told me not to do it. I've always had that rebel, kind of way about me. Let's keep going. Let's keep reading. This is 1Q3 fragment 1 + 6. 200 donkeys, 200 asses, 200 rams of the flock, 200 goats, 200 beasts of the field, from every animal, from every bird, for miscegenation. Now, do y'all know what miscegenation is? This is proof of the genetic mixing. Okay? Where do you think bestiality came from? The fallen. Just as the giants mixed DNA with beast and animal and all of that stuff, that's what the white folks are doing today. Eat them. Nothing is new under the sun. They're into bestiality because that's where they come from. People did that. Matter of fact, let me show you this. I actually should have showed this in my documentary, but I couldn't really stomach the images of it. But let me show you something real quick. If you look up a satyr on Google, okay, let me show you how perverse these Gentiles are. Okay, now forgive me if some of this might be a little bit too much. All right, but when you look at these images of the satyr, right, you will oftentimes notice these Europeans depict him with an erection. Okay, The reason why is because that's what they did. They did rituals with these beings, bro, with which was sex. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's disturbing to think about, but it's true. Okay, you don't believe me? Look, okay, I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm trying to make it too close to you and traumatize you or nothing. But most images you see of the satyr or the satyr are with an erection. That tells you what they were into. You will find statues of these Europeans being bent over by a goat. Come on, man. The Knights Templar were accused of worshiping the Baphomet, the tranny goat. Let me see if I can find that statue. Hold on. You will oftentimes see like a marble statue of like them, you know what I'm saying, being bent over by that thing. It's just disgusting, man. I mean, bro, I don't really want to look at this, but you can see what I'm talking about, okay? Look at this, all right? It's very, very clear. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. I know we got young children on here and stuff like that, so I want to just keep it PG here, okay? But those were things that they were into for sure, okay? Now let me show you some more. I got a little bit more I want to show you before we close this out because I know this is a lot. Now I'm gonna show you this. They said that they found Gilgamesh's tomb, but I don't believe that to be true. I believe this is a fraud. Okay, so just chew up the meat and spit out the bones. I'm saying as a Negro that look deep into this and all that, I don't believe what they're telling us. Like they literally have a video saying that this is Gilgamesh. I don't believe any of that to be true. But let me show you. They're saying that his tomb is in Iraq. But the reason why I don't believe that is because they don't even want to say that Babylon was in Sudan, modern day Sudan. They want us to believe Abraham came from Iraq. That's cap. So I don't believe the tomb that they're telling us is the tomb. But let's listen to this real quick.
Quite literally been lied to about everything. They have created this Truman Show type simulation to keep the general public distracted from the truth, distracted from the biblical events that are actually happening in our world. And one of these events is actually the war in Iraq. Everybody meet Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was an ancient Sumerian king who ruled in what we now know is modern day Iraq. And he was a 17 to 20 foot giant. He was a demigod, which means he was half human and half God. Now, if you know your Bible and if you followed my stories before on ancient Egyptian history and how we've been lied to, you know that these giants actually existed and they were demonic human hybrids that ruled and ravaged the earth. Now, Gilgamesh was a barbaric king. He built up and ruled over the city of Uruk, which is, again, modern day Iraq. Now, you and I were taught that this is all just mythology, just like the ancient Egyptian half animal, half human gods that we read about. But when you read the Bible, you understand that this all, in fact, actually happened. So what does he have to do with the war in Iraq? This brings us to 2003, when German archaeologist Jörg Fassbinder was digging in modern-day Iraq, and he thought he found the city of Uruk.
Gilgamesh was simply a figment of myth. That was until Jörg Fassbinder and his team of archaeologists, using modern technology to look deep into the ground, discovered an entire ancient city beneath the desert, astonishingly laid out just as the city of Uruk, over which Gilgamesh had purportedly.
And we're going to go back to the Book of Giants in a second. I'm showing you Gilgamesh because Gilgamesh is mentioned in the Book of Giants. So we're going to try to tie this together with the fragments we have from the Book of Giants. So that's why I'm showing you Gilgamesh. But we're going to get back to it, though.
The raid was described in the epic. There were houses and gardens and fields alongside an incredibly sophisticated system of canals, leading archaeologists to describe the site as Venice in the desert. More importantly, on the outskirts of the ancient city was what appeared to be a burial site, which archaeologists believed to be the tomb of the ancient king.
So Jörg goes to the authorities, tells them he thinks that he found the city of Uruk and possibly the tomb of Gilgamesh. And 5 months later, we invade Iraq. Now, here's where it gets crazy, because not only did we invade Iraq immediately after his findings, our military builds a base directly over the ruins. Anyway, it's not a secret that the USA established a base in the old Babylonian city destroyed some historical artifacts, and also took with them many of the artifacts. They constructed buildings and helicopter landing pads in the ancient city. It's not a secret that they were searching for something very important.
There were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
And something's wrong. It's a whole world of deceit. We're going into Iraq to get artifacts, not to get anything but artifacts. That was the most important thing, they said.
But which artifacts?
I don't know. They just said artifacts. There were things in Iraq that were sold that we had to go get. Bush wanted those artifacts. It was very important.
Did we get them? And if so, where did they go?
We got them. They said they got everything they needed from that country.
Where is it?
I don't know. We have it.
Saddam Hussein was building a massive reconstruction of Babylon near the ancient city. Was he trying to hide something huge? Is that why the U.S. decided to invade Iraq so fast and acquire the ancient relic? Everything in our world is biblical. Everything. All of the wars that are fought are biblical. It goes back to the Bible. It goes back to the demonic forces that are still alive today, the evidence of the demonic forces that are all around our world that they don't want you and I to know about. If you go on the Department of State's website and type in Gilgamesh, you are actually brought to the formal request for the ancient tomb of Gilgamesh. They were requesting his body from the burial site. So when we invaded Iraq, we went in and just took it all, and we actually had to return it. There's even an email from WikiLeaks that says requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body, and the location of the buried Nephilim. Our entire world is biblical. All over our world is evidence of the Bible, evidence of the giants, evidence of the Nephilim, evidence of all these ancient civilizations that are written about in the Bible. But unfortunately, our world is controlled by Satan. Our government is ran by Satan. So what does our government do? It comes in and it covers it up.
Okay. All right, fam. Now, like I said, I want to show you about Gilgamesh because he's mentioned in the Book of Giants. So we're going to jump back over there and read a little bit more about that. So let me jump back over and we're going to continue reading these fragments. So we read in 1Q23 fragment that these Malachim not only laid with women, but they literally mixed their DNA with animals. Okay. So, I mean, it's just all types of abominations going on back in the day. No wonder the Most High destroyed everything, right? So let's keep going. Fragment 2. They defiled, they begot giants and monsters. Let me share. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, I'm not sharing my screen. Okay, there we go. They defiled, they begot giants and monsters, they begot, and behold, all the earth was corrupt with its blood, and by the hand, giants which did not suffice for them, and they were seeking to devour many, and the monsters attacked it. Okay, monsters. All flesh, all monsters will be, see, like I said, some of it's missing. So I kind of just have to fill in the blanks. All monsters will be, they would arise, lacking in true knowledge because the earth grew corrupt. Mighty, they were considering from the angels upon. In the end, it will perish and die. They caused great corruption in the earth and did not suffice. Yeah. It's kind of hard to read this. Now, let me tell you about these dreams that these giants start having about the flood. Okay. So it says, the giants begin to be troubled by a series of dreams and visions. Mawe, the Titan son of the angel Barakal. Okay, the Titan. You hear what he said, right? Now, I'm also going to show you scripture because I can prove to you these Titans are Naphalym. I mean, we're going to get to that in a second. All right. Mawe, the Titan son of the angel Barakal, reports the first of these dreams to his fellow giants. He sees a tablet being immersed in water. When it emerges, all but 3 names have been washed away. The dream evidently symbolizes the destruction of all but Noah and his sons by the flood. And I'm going to skip forward a little bit here. Okay, I want to read you about Gilgamesh. Okay? The giants realized the futility of fighting against the forces of heaven. The first speaker may be Gilgamesh. So this is supposed to be Gilgamesh here. I am a giant, and by the mighty strength of my arm and my own strength, any one mortal, and I have made war against them. But I am not able to stand against them for my opponents. I reside in heaven, and they dwell in the holy places, and not. They are stronger than I. of the wild beasts has come, and the wild man they call me. Wait a minute, Gilgamesh is called the wild man? Family, do you see what I'm showing you? Do you see the truth? Okay. Stacy says Nimrod is Gilgamesh. He's definitely not Gilgamesh, sis. Nimrod wasn't born yet. Nimrod wasn't born. Nimrod did not come until after the flood. This is prior to the flood. Matter of fact, they started having these dreams that the flood was going to come. Nimrod is a descendant of Ham. Or actually, yeah, Ham, then Cush. Cush was his father. So he's descendant of Noah's son. But he's not Gilgamesh. I've heard people try to surmise that. It's not biblical. It doesn't even make any sense, because how would Nimrod exist prior to the flood? He didn't come until after the flood. So, yeah. A lot of people say that, but you know what I'm saying? I just be like, how is that possible? Okay. All right, we're going to stop there with the book because we got to wrap this up, fam. It's getting late. I'm going to show you guys a few more videos. We're going to go through these scriptures, and I'll bookmark this, and we'll come back to this book in the next episode. All right, let me jump over to this next thing. All right, this is the next video I want to show you guys. Rewind this.
Have you ever heard of the story of Gilgamesh? The story was written 2000 BC. The story talks about how he was 2/3 God and 1/3 man. The claim was that he was 17 feet tall.
Oh, man.
And he was this brutal king, like a tyrant. But the story goes that he was buried under the Euphrates River.
That's drying up.
Well, here's the thing. In 2003, archaeologist by the name of Jorg Fassbinder, he was
always chew up the meat and spit out the bones when these Gentiles are talking about the Bible, because that's what I've learned you got to do with them. You can't really take anything they say as actual truth, because they're over here using colonizer maps, colonizer locations. They don't understand the whole Bible. The majority of at least the first covenant literally takes place in Africa. They will not admit that. They don't want to say that. They're over here telling you that Mount Ararat, where Noah landed the ark, was in the Caucasus mountains and all this goofy stuff. So always remember, when you are dealing with these folk, chew up the meat, spit out the bones. All right.
In the Mesopotamia area doing like the whole LiDAR thing. And what he said is, I have found the tomb of Gilgamesh.
Oh my gosh.
But it's underground, right? So they have to like dig it up. Guess what happened 1 month later?
Earthquake.
The U.S. invades Iraq.
Oh my gosh.
No way.
This is where it gets crazy.
Yeah.
All the archaeological sites were then stopped in Iraq. So stop digging. You're out of here. And the U.S. military set up an encampment around the tomb site. But the locals around this encampment reported that the U.S. military were digging at night, taking things out of the ground and putting them onto trucks and driving them off.
We're villains.
Colonizers is a better word. Colonizers. That's what white folks do. This is what I'm saying. That's what they do. They steal, they take, they colonize. Steal, kill, destroy. And then they cover it up and lie about it. They throw rocks and they hide their hands.
We are Dr. Evil.
Is that not? I mean,
That's crazy.
I guess
Where'd you learn this?
a bunch of
This information is not suitable for the viewing public. The government is here to protect you.
All right, fam. So let's see. I think I have something else I wanted to show you. Okay. So I do have more videos on this tomb of Gilgamesh, but I wanna fact check it before I show you guys all this stuff. So right now, I'm not convinced this stuff is legitimate, but in case it is, I'm gonna make a folder and we'll come back to it. So let me put I'm gonna make a Naphalym folder. And I'll save it when I can actually go through it, fact check it, and see if what they're saying is true. Because I'm all about the truth. Let's see. Is that it? I think that's everything I wanted to show you guys for right now. Okay, let me show you a few more videos, or actually this last video, and then we're gonna close this thing out because I'm pretty much done. All right, so this is also talking about the Titans, and I'm going to show you scripture that mentions them as well. All right, here we go.
The Egyptians themselves call themselves a legacy culture. So they describe 2 time periods before the dynastic civilization. The oldest one is called Zep Tepi. It's when the gods themselves walked to the earth. They had mystical capabilities. It went for like 25,000 years. Those were the gods that then get worshipped as gods in their pantheon. They supposedly walked the earth. And then after they went away, for whatever reason, there's a time called Shemsu Hor, or the followers of Horus. Again, these semi-divine mystical.
Okay, this right here, this is a result of these Neanderthal Naphalym creatures, and it would also be an example of the mixing that was taking place, where the Naphalym were mixing animal DNA, but also the Malachim. It says in the book of the Giants that the Malachim came down and slept with animals. And that's why it says that the giants begin to sin against birds and beasts. These creatures, you know, even worshipped in Egypt, right? I mean, we're talking about melanated people in Egypt, fam. They were worshiping Anubis. They were worshiping, you know, Thoth and all these other deities that were half human, half animal. And that's why I say when it says men of renown, these giants were worshipped. And these hybrid beings like this thing right here were worshipped. The Titans were worshipped. Who the Greco-Romans call gods were Nephilim, family.
Beings with all of these crazy powers that you could interpret as magic or technology, and they reigned for like 15,000 years. They have these kings lists of these rulers that then it adds up to like 15,000 years for the Shemsu Hor and like 25,000 years for Zep Tepi, and then Menes is the first king of the first dynasty, and it goes right on. And it's our academics that decide that, you know what, Menes, that's actually where the history starts, and before that's all myth.
And that right there, that is Thoth, okay? Half man, half animal, okay? That's why these Hindus and these Indians, they over here be worshiping a dang deity with 6 arms and elephant heads and all this weird stuff, bro. Just weird. That goes to show when Yahuwah said, I made you in my image, right? He made us in his image, Yahuwah, the melanated people, so-called black people, right? He made us in his image. What the heathens did is they took Yahuwah, they took Yahusha, and they made him in their image. That's what they do. They do the opposite because they don't like the truth. They don't like the truth that we original people. They don't like the truth we the chosen. They don't like the truth that we was here long before they was, and they are a result of a genetic mutation because of the fallen coming down, sleeping with the black women of the earth, and creating a genetic mutation causing white skin. They don't like talking about that. Yahuwah created us in his image, and they went and created a false God and a false Messiah and a false religion by making him in their image. How ironic is that? Rakam Yah says, you are on point, Yexer. I've never heard anyone say the Egyptian gods were Nephilim. Makes sense. Yes, sis. And that's why I'm saying, like, we know that some of the giants were white, right? We understand that. We know that. But understand also that certain Canaanite giants would have also been melanated, because if you think about Goliath, for example, he was a Philistine. He was a Hamite. So he would have been melanated. So you have melanated giants and you had white giants. It just so happens that the serpent seed of the people in power now come from the white ones. The white ones carried the serpent seed for sure. But yes, these gods of Egypt and these gods of these other nations, they are really just abominations of the fallen for real. That's all they are. You feel what I'm saying? And you know for a fact that them folks, the male people, they are obviously a result of that fallen seed coming from the white giants. Why? Because look at everything that they're building right now. Look at the system they're building. Look at the genetic experimentation. Look at all the propaganda, you know, with the hybridism and the blending and the mixing with other nations and all these things they pushing, bro. And we're going to talk about in the next episode, we're going to get a little bit more into the Naphalym War. So let's finish this up, okay, fam? Let's finish this up. I'm going to finish this up, all right? So we read Baruch 3:26 through 28. These were the giants famous from the beginning that were of great stature and so expert in war. So they were barbarians. They were barbaric. They said that Gilgamesh was barbaric. Okay. But these Yahuwah chose not, neither gave he the way of knowledge unto them, but they were destroyed because they had no wisdom and perished through their own foolishness. All right, let's keep going. Now, this is Yahudith, Judith, 16 verse 7. For the mighty one did not fall by the young men, neither did the sons of the Titans smite him, nor did high giants set up on him. But Yahudith, the daughter of Marara, weakened him with the beauty of her countenance. See, this Israelite woman, she was so beautiful. Oh, she was so beautiful. She had this man distracted. You feel me? All praises to the highest for the daughters of Zion. Shout out to the daughters of Zion. Well, it seems like the book of Yahudith, Judith, confirms these giants were titans. We will stop here, as this is just an introductory episode to the truth about the Naphalym. But trust and believe, things are going to get very interesting as we continue. All right. So that is it, family. I appreciate you guys being here and joining me for this show. We will get deeper into this, and you're going to find out some things about Naphalym, certain bloodlines and things like that, that will blow your mind. The more I'm digging into this, the more I'm researching and I'm studying and I'm taking in the information, the more I'm realizing, like, man, dude, these heathens really have lied. And it's like the level of lies, the magnitude of deception coming from these Gentiles is on a whole nother level. And the reason why they're covering it up is because they're complicit. The reason why they're covering up, those are their people. They are descendants of these beings. To talk about the Caucasian, you can talk about the Egyptians, you can talk about any nation. Like even the Chinese people, right? They got images of pandas and you know animals that are native to Asia Minor, right? But then you see in Greek mythology, you see that they have the centaurs, the half man, half horse. You see the satyr, the half man, half goat. But then you see regular animals amongst those creatures. So help me understand. Why is it all these nations that worship these deities that are heathens, right? Why under the dome are all of their deities similar in some kind of way? Granted, some of them have different names because they spoke different languages, but nonetheless, they're essentially the same thing. You feel what I'm saying? JC is Zeus. JC is Hercules. JC is, all these other, white people that they put up as gods and stuff like that. Even Serapis Christus, where you get the word Christian from, that's JC. Hold on. Let me show y'all that real quick. Bit of a side note, but yes, family, we are going to be getting really, really deep into this lesson, or not this lesson. I'm done with the lesson, but in this series, we're going to be getting deep into stuff. So look, this is Serapis Christus right here. Okay. You cannot tell me that is not JC, but you can also not tell me that is not Zeus. That is Zeus. Okay. That's all it is. Serapis Christus became JC. Caesarea Borgia, same thing. And by the way, we're going to get into the Borgias in this series too, because they are also of the fallen bloodline. I don't know at what point we're going to get to it, but we will eventually. There's a reason why Caesarea Borgia was painted as the Messiah. He is of that fallen bloodline. And that's why they painted it in his image. Not the Most High's, but the fallen seed. Okay? All right, fam. Love y'all. All praises to the highest, Yahuwah. Fam, I got to get off here. I'm so tired. I did 2 videos today. Yahuwah's Yahusha. Then we did the Lying Pen of the Scribes episode, and we're doing this one. I didn't want y'all to think I was falling off to the wayside, and I'm not going to still be here dropping content. So I wanted to make sure I got it in today, and I did 2 live streams. Don't know if I'm going to go live tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, right? So Shabbat's coming up. If I don't go live tomorrow, it's because I need to actually get the lesson ready for Shabbat. Shabbat, we are going to be re-examining the second Exodus. I think that's important information we need to be looking at, especially considering that when I did the teaching originally, I wasn't using the Septuagint. So I'm going to be redoing the Exodus teaching. And yes, I will be back this Shabbat. I know it wasn't there last Shabbat, but yes, I will be here with you guys on Shabbat. Okay. But I might not go live tomorrow because I need to prepare for it. Okay. So I just wanted, that's why I did like a double header video series today. So you guys could just have something to hold you over. Batia Bayaya Sharal says, I have to catch the replay. Yeah, that's okay, sis. I'm glad you're here with us, though. It's always good to see you, beloved sister. Always good to see you. So that's it, fam. I love you guys. Please be sure to hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? On the way out, all praises to the highest. Shout out to everybody that has joined us this late night stream. Family, I know sometimes you know, my schedule just be all over the place. I'm like, I go live once, then I go live at this time. It'd be like that, though, for real. You never know what you get with Yexer. All right, fam. That's it. Love y'all. All esteem to the highest. Yada Yahuwah, Yahusha. Shalom.